struggle goes on.
The late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is remembered at the church where he preached the gospel. The crew of Harambe lets the good times roll in downtown Shreveport and taking steps to preserve historic buildings downtown.
The first to broadcast in HD in the Arklatex. On your side. This is KTBS 3 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jerry May. Sherry has the holiday off. Thank you for joining us. First at 5, living the dream. For the past 25 years, the nation has set aside the third Monday in January to honor slain civil rights leader Martin Luther King. And today, Americans from coast to coast did just that. Find out what happened locally in just a moment. But first, here's ABC's John Hendry.
The nation's first African-American president remembered the man who helped clear his path.
Dr. King obviously had a dream of justice and equality in our society.
President Obama and the First Family celebrated Dr. King's holiday with a show of service.
You could be a drum major for service. You could lead by giving back.
At Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where Martin Luther King Jr. once preached, the young and old lined up.
I want to be a part of a historic moment.
Joining them, Eric Holder, the nation's first African-American attorney general, noted how far we've come. And days after the Tucson massacre, how far we have yet to go.
Our long struggle to end suffering, to eradicate violence, and to promote peace, that struggle goes on.
Everywhere, Americans relived a 17-minute address.
I have a dream today.
The speech, often called the most famous address of the 20th century, delivered in the shadow of another slain leader, was one part righteous anger.
America has given the Negro people a bad check.
One part call to action.
We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now.
The day was celebrated with parades in Los Angeles and in Tennessee and North Carolina, where schools chose to make up for snow days rather than close to honor Dr. King, with protests.
Supporters consider those peaceful protests a fitting tribute, carried out in the same spirit of the demonstrations King led himself. John Hendren, ABC News, Washington.
And here at home, hundreds of people were hard at work serving their community in honor of Martin Luther King Day. This group of volunteers at Stoner Hill Elementary in Shreveport were busy making arts and crafts, cleaning up classrooms, and sprucing up the library. The volunteers included Centenary College students, along with city workers and department heads. Mayor Cedric Glover also stopped by and spoke of the importance of educating the younger generation about what Dr. King stood for.
I think it's important that we take every opportunity that we can right now to be able to touch those young people who were born decades after his passing, and to make sure that that life and that legacy continues on.
Volunteers were also working on projects at Cresswell Elementary, Quirby's Park, and the Kilpatrick Auditorium on the Centenary campus.
Here in the Arklatex, it was indeed a day of service honoring Dr. King's call to action. 200 volunteers turned out to help with cleanup projects at Stoner Hill and Cresswell Elementary schools, answering Shreveport Mayor Cedric Glover's annual call for a day on rather than a day off on this federal holiday.
Well, just going along with Dr. King's message that, you know, instead of it just being a holiday where you turn your alarm clock off and stay in bed a little longer, give a little time, a half a day, if nothing else, back to the community.
And Shreveport's own Police Chief Willie Shaw pitched in, helping clean the blinds in several classrooms. Volunteers also worked on a beautification project at Quirby's Park.
A day on, not a day off. That's the motto for this MLK holiday. Millions of people across the country are honoring Dr. King through community service. NBC6 reporter Markel Sinnett spoke with local volunteers who feel their work is helping to fulfill the dream.
We want to give back and to help our students understand what it means to serve.
Students and staff from Centenary College spent the day cleaning up Cresswell Elementary.
But it's also a great lesson for our students. It's a lesson of Dr. King that every person can be great because every person can serve, and it's a wonderful way to get our students outside and off the campus and doing positive things for the community.
Mike Hemphill was happy to see people from all parts of Shreveport volunteering their time.
To sit there on the campus this morning and see all the members of the community and all the students there, and you look at that and you think, even though we may have a ways to go, we're accomplishing a lot with the work that we're doing.
Jordan Williams wasn't around when Dr. King delivered his I Have a Dream speech, but believes King would be happy with today's outpouring of support.
Everybody from different ages, different colors, different backgrounds, we all came together. We all are here for the same purpose, to serve our communities.
Centenary President David Rose says Dr. King started the dream, and now it's time for us to finish what King started.
And it's up to us to fulfill that dream for him and to continue to make this the type of society that he envisioned.
In Shreveport, Markel Sinet, NBC6 News.
Thank you, Markel. People also braved the rain to help clean up Quarry's Community Center. It was all part of Centenary College's Dream Week. Shreveport Mayor Cedric Glover spent time today volunteering at Stoner Hill Elementary. It's been more than 40 years since the famous I Have a Dream speech, and Mayor Glover says we've accomplished a lot, but there is still much more work to be done.
You can't stand here today and see me here as mayor of the city of Shreveport and so many other people being blessed to be able to do so many things that you simply could not do 2 generations ago, and know that we've not come a long ways.
Also, as you may know, Mayor Glover is Shreveport's first African-American mayor.
Volunteers around Shreveport took part in serving the community today in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy. Volunteers went to Stone Hill and Cresswell Elementary Schools and the community center to help make renovations around the buildings. They helped paint, clean, and even paint a mural. Mayor Glover talked about what Dr. King's legacy means today.
It should also serve as a reminder, as a kindler, as a Kickstarter for us to be able to look to carry on that type of service, that type of remembrance, that type of engagement with the issues and challenges that face our city and face our state and face our country and our world on an everyday basis.
Centenary College will hold other events scheduled throughout the week to commemorate the achievements of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.